I keep hearing from founders about what is detailed tech pack. They say we are doing everything right, giving the sketches and measurements, and yet we don't get what we expect from the factory. Hi, I am Rakesh, and today I am going to talk about tech packs. As the name suggests, tech pack is technical packet which anybody who's technical can look at and produce what is there in the technical packet without any question, without any doubt or anything going off. So how come the technical packets that is provided to the factory by you, it doesn't work? So let me explain that what is a detailed technical packet. So detailed technical packet of course begins with the sketch. You have got to have sketch, not just the line work of the design, but also the details that you want to be taken care of in that particular design. That has got to be marked, even if required, put it in words next to the sketch itself with an arrow marking so that anybody looking at the sketch knows that what are you expecting or what do you want to get produced. So that is what is a complete sketch, not just a line work, not just a picture of a sample that you saw somewhere or picked up from the Instagram. So that is the first step, having a complete sketch, detailed sketch, front and back if needed, side and if needed, highlighted details if there are any specific details. Now after the sketch comes the fit. You need to specify what kind of fit do you want for that particular garment. Fit in the sense, are you looking for an oversized garment? Are you looking for a regular fit or are you looking for a tight fit? Because for the same body, the same garment will have different measurements depending on what kind of fit you want. So you got to specify that. That is the second step. The third step is the measurements. Now measurements are critical, but as I saw from couple of tech packs which were given to me by founders, they just have barely, sketchy measurements of length and width. No. When I say measurement in a detailed tech pack, I actually divide them into 4 parts. So what are those 4 parts? So first part is the fit measurement. Now what is fit measurement? Fit measurement is the measurement of the place where the garment is going to touch and hang from the body. Like for a top or a dress, measurements like shoulder width, neck width, armhole, chest. These are the basic fit measurement from where the garment is going to hang on the body of the wearer. And if it is a bottom, then the critical part is the waist measurement, the hip measurement, the thigh measurement, the rises, front crotch and front crotch and back crotch. So those measurements are critical measurements. And if those are not specified, then factory is going to imagine them and do whatever they do. Then the next part is the fastening measurement. When somebody wears a garment, how are they going to wear it? Is there sufficient space for them to wear it? And how is that garment going to be fastened on their body? Are you going to use zipper, button or whatever fastening you are using? Those measurements have got to be specified. If those are not specified, you may find that the garment is not wearable. And that is what happens to most of the samples which keep coming back to you. Now after that, the next part comes what I call the treatment detail measurements. Now every garment has some treatment or the other. It could be a pocket, it could be a pleat, it could be gathering or anything. Its location, embroidery, its placement, whatever treatment you are giving to the garment, those measurements and locations must be specified. If you are not specifying them, then you will get whatever factory makes. So it is critical that you specify all the treatment measurements. And the fourth part, what I call is fall and fill measurements. Now what is fall and fill measurement? You have got all the fit measurements and you have got the garment tied to the body. But what about the overall fullness of the garment? The length, the hem, the flare, the shape, everything has got to be specified. If you are not specifying that, of course factory will imagine it from their perspective. And your perspective and their perspective oftentimes doesn't match. That's why you keep getting the samples, which you got to keep redoing. Now that is the measurement part. Now after the measurement part comes the hardware part. You must specify what hardware you want to be used on the garment samples that you want. What kind of, how many, what size, buttons, zippers, whatever else you are using on the sample, whatever you want to use on that sample, you must specify that by size in measurement. If you are not doing that, then again factory is going to go into assumptions. So that is the hardware part. Now once you have done with the fit and measurement part, then next comes the fabric part, which is most critical. Now fabrics have got certain specificity. If you just say use a cotton fabrics come in various weights, sheerness, heaviness, in all kind of weights. You got to specify that. Now for that, I must explain to you that there are two kind of fabrics. One is woven and another is knitted. And in woven fabric also, there are fabrics made of natural fiber. Now in natural fiber like cotton, like linen, you have to use the size of the yarn, which is called yarn count, as well as reed pick, or what you call per inch warp and weft number of threads. It is like one of the example you can say that 40s into 40s by 92 into 80. Now 40s into 40 means that 40 size yarn is being used in the warp and 40 size yarn is being used in the weft. And there are 92 threads in 1 inch of the warp and 80 threads per inch of the weft. If you are not specifying these kind of specificity, it's better you send 8 inch by 8 inch cutting to your factory so that they can make out what exactly do you want. And same thing goes, if it is a man-made fiber, then yarn size is distinguished by a term called denier. Now what is denier? Denier is weight in grams of 9,000 meter of that particular yarn. So like 120 denier or 160 denier. So that is how that is specified, and reed and pick is still identified as the natural fiber fabric. So that is how the woven fabrics go. Now as far as knitted fabrics are concerned, generally they are referred to as in GSM. Now apart from the GSM, you can also refer to it as what is the yarn size used in that particular fabric, what is the number of veils per inch and number of cores per inch. That is how knitted fabric is specified. And of course, apart from specifying the specification of the fabric, you must also specify the content of the fabric. Just saying that you want a cotton lycra fabric is insufficient. Cotton lycra fabric comes in 60s yarns, 40s yarns, a number of other combinations. What exactly do you want? Better send a 8" by 8" cutting to the factory. Now once you've got your fabric specified, then comes what is the treatment on that fabric. Do you want a solid colored fabric or do you want a printed fabric? Now as far as colors are concerned, everybody globally in this industry uses 6-digit Pantone references. So just saying that use a brown color is insufficient. Brown color has many shades. What shade you want, you must refer to the Pantone color book and give 6-digit number to the factory that this is the shade of brown you want. And as far as print is concerned, you must give repeat of length and width of that print for the factory to replicate. Otherwise, they will not be able to replicate it. And of course, all colors, if you want to be copied from the swatch you are sending them, specify, or if you want any colors changed, use the Pantone reference to do that. Now if you do that, this is just basic details of providing a take pack. On the basis of this, a factory should be able to produce sample which should be good to go for you, because we want you to save your money, your time, and all the frustration you go through every time samples don't come correct. Now this is the purpose of this channel. If you haven't yet subscribed, subscribe it, because every week I am going to come up with new topics that is going to help you be successful in your business. See you next week.